Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Inglorious Gun. After a very long hiatus, I do apologize. First and foremost, I have to apologize to I Love Dogs. He had commented a few weeks back saying he wished I had come back and started posting more. And I truly am sorry for that. I really did have some momentum going, but then I just kind of hit a depressive episode. Things in my life were just not going the direction I needed them to, and that had been since the start of that YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel rather. But thankfully, things have kind of balanced out a bit more. I have a job now. I have like just a bit more of a semblance of a schedule and some consistency, and obviously, like alleviation of financial issues has been a huge plus as well, and a lot of stress off my shoulders. So things are good. Things are getting better. You know, there's still a long ways to go, but at least the trajectory is on an upward, and I feel like I kind of have the mental capacity to hopefully like better my situation in the long term. But you know, really, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this fucking beautiful game that is Marvel Rivals, and this is tantalizing news to anybody. I have recorded so many games at this point that I actually don't know what happens in this one outside of the time frame. It's 10 minutes, so I'd imagine things are cool, but we're gonna rediscover it together as we go through in an attempt to fucking throw this hammer directly in the face of Invisible Woman. Sue, get the fuck out of here, and we go into Awakening Rune and just do an insane amount of damage. Thor is especially this season, just fantastic. A really good off-tank pick. I say he makes up for a lot of lackluster DPS if, you know, in the event you have, like, some fucking Lord Spider-Man or a Hawkeye and they can't hit the fucking broadside of a barn. You know, he's a nice mediator and just kind of allows things to still progress forward in a way. His ult's good, but, like, I still think his ult is very easy to essentially ignore. I guess just like being able to maneuver or heal out of it, there's just so many characters that can kind of reposition themselves. Right here, this was ultimately not a good place to use it, and I can admit that, but it's just, it's not where I want it to, and I hope with some adjustment it doesn't like fucking break the character, but that's something I would like to see change ultimately with his kit. Otherwise, everything else is like, it's fucking mint, dude. You know, it's the only issue with playing Thor, and it's like playing any off-tank Vanguard is, even if like you just want to play Vanguard, right? If you are not playing a main tank like Magneto or Strange, which are both fucking insane characters. I have a pretty good game with Magneto. It's probably going to be coming up in a few videos, but you know, ultimately they're very demanding in regards to the meta right now. You can obviously play around them. There's a lot of hypothetical situations, and every game is different. But oh, also ignore me fucking standing here. I definitely was probably taking like a bond rip or checking something on my phone. Very distracted, but this is the kind of top tier gameplay you're here to watch, of course. But fuck, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about, oh yeah, Magneto and Doctor Strange. So if you don't have one of those heroes on your team and your teammates are not performing adequately at their given roles, as we've talked about many times before, the momentum shift is so apparent, you know. A lot of Marvel Rivals right now, due to the absolute fucking jamboree of a ranking system that makes solo queue just a Machiavellian, crazy plot twist, fucking up and down adventure. It's just not conducive to kind of play the characters you want to play ultimately. You know, if you can't provide the coverage you need, especially to your team, and they're not doing what they need to do, then it's just going to ultimately crumble. So you know, it's the same song, different dance. I think a lot of people have also recently kind of been, you know, lamenting the ranking system, and I think people are being fairly generous with it as well. You know, obviously this is the early period of their MMR system. Hopefully, you know, we'll just see continual improvements, and I'm sure Season 2 is going to see some adjustments that, you know, will look very different ultimately from Season 1, even if it's on like a macro level, right? But as far as the game right now, I'm just super happy with where it's at. I feel like, you know, we got Blade coming up, I'm pretty sure, as he's been teased, and even just with the Fantastic Four kind of broadening out the roster, the notion that we're going to be getting even more characters is just super exciting, you know. Obviously, these characters are very storied. They have a lot of history, but they do a really good job of materializing their attributes in a way that I think like a lot of other media has a tendency to struggle with, right? Like, how many fucking, you know, superhero movies or Marvel TV projects where they're, you know, they're doing the thing, but ultimately it's written for an imaginary audience that is so safe and washed out that nothing of substance really comes from these adaptations, and it's kind of just like shitty lip service to ultimately what should be, you know, honoring the source material and the inception of these characters. But thankfully, I think this game, just from the casting of the voice acting, you know, just the amount of artistry that went into even just the core redesigns for the character, like, I really like this base Thor skin. Like, I have other options, but his default is really cool. I just fuck with the gauntlets. I think the design for a lot of the characters, as is, you know, out the fucking package, is pretty decent. And it just, it's something that I'm surprised has had as long of an effect, especially been playing this game for the amount of time I have now, and continuing to do so. But anyway, we're holding out on defense here. What is there to say? It's really these two choke points, or, you know, people either fucking strange portal in through the back area, or you have people going up through the stairs and then coming out of that windowed area above the point. Has a tendency to be pretty homogenous in that sense, but thankfully we were able to clean that up. That poor Iron Man, I have no fucking idea what he was doing in that corner. Maybe he just kind of got caught in the wall, but that was free real estate. And we're really just kind of bullying these people at this point. I didn't need to push that. And I think at this moment I was like, okay, maybe I can like secure this kill given how low Cloak was, but ultimately there is a level of greed when you're looking at the fucking spawn point, you know. And I've definitely been on the opposite end of that. Getting shit stomped that hard is so fucking frustrating. I just had a pretty recent game with Iron Man where I got MVP. I actually performed really well, and I was pretty happy with my impact on the match, right? But it was just also a cold reminder of like how much easier things would be if that level of competency that I was displaying was even just like uniform with 2 or 3 of my teammates, you know. And to go back to Vanguards really quick, you can get away with playing Thor and like using health packs, but again, like given the variance of like what your specialists or your healers are going to be like in a given time, and your positioning as well, like if you're not staying in their vicinity or line of sight, you're ultimately just not going to be a priority target. You know, there's just going to be so much other shit going on. It's already a lot to manage, but when you do have a proper, you know, I wouldn't say pocket, but a pretty proficient healer, a lot of other heroes in Vanguards become like playable, and it's like, wow, okay, like I'm not just fucking playing the thing and then I, you know, hit my left shift and was sprinting into the team, and none of my teammates were, you know, remotely providing any kind of covering fire, and I just fucking fed, and now we're staggered, and there goes my team, Vanguardless, into the abyss, only to not be able to cap the first point within 4 minutes. And it's just, you know, shit fucking, there's definitely bad days, there's good days with this game. I know people have talked about loser queue or winner queue and all that. For me, I've just been truly trying to focus on the things that are obviously within my control, and aiming's been a big part of that. I've actually been a lot more comfortable playing DPS characters just on the basis of knowing that I can hit a lot of my shots, and that's definitely been bearing fruit, and that's uniform across a lot of characters as well, especially like going back to Doctor Strange. Like even learning how to lead a little bit goes a long way. But all the same, thanks for listening to me fucking ramble for 10 minutes. Hopefully you guys found some value out of this and enjoyed. I'm excited to be back and expect more videos soon. All the same, you guys have a great day, and yeah, be well.